Greetings, everyone. I had to pull off of the house build today in order to fabricate some ductwork for performance heating and air. They needed a transitional duct that changes 3 directions, and that is my expertise in the company. So I'm in the shop today, and we're going to build this transitional duct. I'll show you what we got going. So if you were looking at this piece of duct from the top, this dotted line would be the top opening. So it is 10 inches this way and 12 inches that way. But it's also offset 3.5 inches from the bottom opening, which would be the darker lines. I don't know if you can envision that. So this duct moves 3.5 inches that way on essentially both sides. And then because the bottom and the top are both 12 inches. And then it also moves 6 inches in this way because we have a 10-inch opening here and a 16 on the bottom. And the only side that is flat is where basically the back of the furnace lines up with the opening above in the ceiling. So although it's flat, it still has to offset to the side. So therefore we have 3 sides that are offset. So here's another view of the duct that Curtis sent me. On the 12-inch side of the duct, that offset, he also wants a flange on the bottom, and then for it to go up 2 inches, and then offset over the 3.5 inches, and then have 3 inches of straight. And I'm going to undersize that just a little bit so that duct can slide up into the 10 by 12 that's in the ceiling. All right, so I'm going to start with the flange. I'm going to start with the flat side first of the pattern, and at the bottom of the sheet I'm going to put that 3/4 flange, so I'll start a mark for that. And then when the fitting goes up that first 2 inches, I'm going to put a 3/4 flange. I won't be able to run the Pittsburgh seam that you saw on the other videos because it's changing directions. So I mean, we're going straight, and then we're turning and curving, and then we're turning back in and going back up. So the Pittsburgh machine won't work for that. So I'm probably just going to turn 3/4 inch flanges on 2 sets of the pieces, and then the other pieces will be flat. And I'll either spot weld the fitting together if the spot welder will reach all the way into the fitting, or I'll use pop rivets to hold it all together. So, so let me scribe a 3/4 up this side, because that's going to fold over for the part that's coming up 2 inches. All right, so now I'm going to scratch a 2 3/4 inch line. So that's 3/4 for my flange at the bottom, plus the 2 inches that the duct has to go up straight. All right, I might have to switch to my pen now. So the bottom side is 12 inches. Plus the 3/4 that I'm going to turn over. So we'll go over 12 3/4. There, and 12 3/4. At the bottom. And then I want another 3/4 for a flange. So that's going to get me to 13.5. height. So the total height on this transition is 15 inches. So I'll have to subtract out the 2-inch and the 3-inch at the top. And so the part that's just going to transition over is only 10 inches high and 3.5 wide. So I'm going to put that on the metal, and I just want to make sure that it's not too steep where we'll be cutting off the air here. I may have to bring this side up taller before I come across on the transition of 3.5 inches. It won't go that far. It'll actually just, it's probably going to go something like right up in there, something like that. So I just want to make sure I'm not cutting off the airflow too much. I may end up having to bring that up 4 inches just to get better airflow. So this is what I was talking about here with the transition. So it looks like there's going to be 11.5 there. So I'm losing about a 1/2 inch for the diagonal. Whereas if I came up a little bit more before I diagonaled over, it would probably get me closer to 12. I'll see what the boss has to say if he's concerned about airflow. All right, so we're going to go ahead and just build it with the 2-inch on the bottom. It's what this is going in is not real critical, so I'll go ahead and offset that 3.5, and I'll draw the 3-inch going straight up at the top, and then I'll bring you back and show you the pattern when it's done. I'm not sure if you can see this. I can't seem to get the angle of the light correct in here. But this area that's got the 3 areas that's got the X's, that'll get cut out, and there's our first piece of the offset. What I'll probably do now is just put it on time lapse, and I'll go ahead and build the other 3 sides. I don't know if you can see it, but this pattern is taller than the original pattern that I drew over here. And the reason why is I've got the 3/4 flange on the bottom, the 2 inches of straight, and this distance here before it goes to the 3 inches of straight at the top is the distance of this angle going up right here. So it was like 10 inches tall here, but with the offset it added 3/8 of an inch. So the distance in here is 10 3/8, or I'm sorry, 10 5/8 rather. So that's 5/8 of an inch difference. So it added 5/8 to the height of the pattern because of this offset tilt. So just to show you how out of practice I am, the fitting was right, but when I drew it, all my marks were on the outside. So that's the only bad part, is I'm gonna have some ink lines. And I'll probably have it with that one too, because rather than thinking about how it would look from the inside of the ducting, I was drawing it from the outside. So I am going to have some lines. So maybe for the other two pieces, I'll just use the scratch-all rather than the pen, and you won't see the scratches in there as like you do the pen marks. All right, I think we're looking good so far. So, top view. Top view. So we're coming over 3.5, coming over 3.5, and then this backside's flat, like the drawing. And then we have 12 across the top, and we have 10 going this way and 16 down on the bottom. So that's what we look like there. So let's work on this side now, since I'll at least have a straight edge to work from. All right, let's start with our 3/4 on the bottom. There we go. And then 2 3/4 for my next line. That gives me the 2 inches up the fitting. And then we have a raw edge, so I don't have to put the flange there. And the bottom is 16 wide. Doesn't look like 16 inches. That is 16 inches, okay. This fitting just seems so small, but I guess it's not a very big furnace. I'm not, lately I've been building all that big commercial stuff that you saw in the other videos, so the ducting was so much bigger. This must be just a little teeny tiny furnace they're putting in. So, all right, so I got my 16. This edge is straight because it's going to go up this flat side of the fitting. Now my height will be based on this point here on the fitting up to the other one. So let me see what that measurement is. Oh, that's right. I think it was 10 5/8. That's right. It is. Remember that. All right, so 10 5/8 plus 2 3/4. So that would give me another, let's see, 11/8 is what, inch and 3/8. So 13 3/8 is going to be my height to my next line. All right. 13 3/8. Okay. 13 3/8. Okay. And then we have a 10 top. And 16 bottom. It's right there. And 16 tops. Okay. And now we just need to go up the 3 inches. So 13 3/8 plus 16 3/8. 16 3/8. And let's just bring this out to 16 so I can sort that out. Right 10 up here on top. All right. Tap out. Oh, wait there. This. One's going to lay in there like that. Let's go put a little break on that, a little break here, and then put the 3/4 flange. So the last piece will be 12 on the bottom, 12 on the top, and it's coming over that 3.5, but it's also going back, what is that, 6 inches? So let's get that laid out. So I guess I'll have to find out what's going on with that spot welder, because I spot welded the heck out of this and it popped open. So I'm gonna go with rivets for now. I remember that spot welder working really well, so I'm not sure if it's not clamping tight enough, or if we're not holding it long enough, or I'm not holding the trigger long enough, or what's going on. So we're gonna go with rivets. All right, well, there's the finished product. So it's going over 3.5 inches. This part's was coming back basically 6 inches, because it's 16 across the bottom and 10 at the top. This was the flat side that just had to come over 3.5 on the offset. And that's the last piece where it's coming back at you 3.5, while also transitioning over the 6 inches here, and then of course it lines up with the flat side in the back. I want to thank you all for joining me in the shop today, building that transition duct. Got a little bit of a mess to clean up here, and then I got to head down to the construction site, because as I always tell Carrie, the house ain't gonna build itself. So I want to thank you all for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.